This game is designed by Prospero Hall and published by Ravensburger, publisher of games since 1884, including Villainous, Back to the Future Dice Through Time, Labyrinth, Horrified, Minecraft Builders and Biomes, and many, many more. Please remember to give your ticket for this event through your event details page. There are instructions on your event dashboard and in the Gen Con emails for how to do that. Now this game plays 2 to 4 players, ages 12 and up, in about 20 minutes per player, and available in the US, UK, and Canada for $34.99.
In this game, it's good to be bad. Every character takes on the role of a Marvel villain. Thanos, Hela, Ultron, Taskmaster, or Killmonger. Depending on which character you choose, you'll try to do something different to win. For example, today we're playing as Thanos, who is trying to collect all 6 Infinity Stones, and Ultron, who needs to upgrade and reveal the Age of Ultron. Complete your objective first to win.
So these boards here are the villain's domains. Each turn, the villain is going to move between the 4 locations in their domain, where the icons on the space will tell them what actions you can take. For now, the villain mover is going to start on their picture so they can move wherever they like on their first turn. At the end of the villain's domain, there is also a place for specialty cards. We'll go over those a little bit later. The domain in the bottom left also reminds you of your villain's objective and how they win. Now normally, the domains are going to be placed opposite one another while players sit on opposite sides of the table. But for the stream purposes, so you guys can see everything, we're facing them in the same direction today. So each villain also has a villain deck. This includes generally helpful cards like items, allies, and specialty cards that will help you along the way. The Fate deck is made by shuffling together one common Fate deck, which is played in every game, along with the Fate decks of the specific villains that the players are using. The Fate deck contains heroes and events, and Fate cards are going to be played on your opponents. So if I play a Fate card, I will actually cover up the top 2 actions of a particular location, and the opponent cannot use those until that Fate card is dealt with. Now rarely, Fate may not work at all. Every so often, Fate can also mess with you, or it may possibly even aid you, because that's the nature of Fate in the Marvel Universe. The Vault holds all the power and strength tokens that are going to be used throughout the game. Power is the currency that you use to pay for the cost of the cards in your hand, and strength tokens will modify the strength value of heroes and or allies. And we'll go over how those work when they come out a little bit later. Each villain also has a villain guide. This villain's going to cover your objective, any special setup for your villain's domain, and important cards in your villain and Fate deck. For example, the villain guide instructs Ultron to place these 4 upgrade tiles on his specialty section. These 4 upgrade tiles are how I'm going to complete the game. So, because these 4 tiles are placed in a particular order, when I complete one, I'll flip it over and reveal the next one. The last one is my objective for the game, to reveal Age of Ultron. So if I can complete all 4 of them, that's how I'll win. Now Thanos is kind of special in that he's the hardest villain to play with. He has a unique interaction with how he interacts with the Infinity Stones and allies in other players' domain. He's a very aggressive character, and he also has a special page in the rulebook that affects the game if Thanos is one of the chosen villains. So today I'm going to be playing as Ultron, Melissa's going to be playing as Thanos, and we're just going to kind of jump right in, and we'll explain how things work as we go. So the person that goes first is the person that's most recently read a Marvel comic. That's going to be me. I read Marvel comics quite often. So Ultron's going to go first. At the beginning of the game, you draw 4 cards from your deck. So we're each going to draw 4 cards. The cards that are in your deck can be items, allies, or effects, and we'll go over those as we use them, but I also want to show you guys some of the art on the cards that we've got. So the art's very, very pretty, but we'll go over those as we play them. And then the first thing I want to do on my turn is move.
I get to start with 1 power.
Right. Melissa, because she's going second, starts with 1 power. And I start with none because I'm the first player. So the first thing I'm going to do on my turn is move. And I'm going to choose to move the Ultron mover to the manufacturing array, this second location here. Now that gives me access to 4 actions, and I can take those 4 actions in any order that I choose. So my actions on that space, if you look to the inlay up in the top left of your screen, are gain power. In the manufacturing array, that's specifically gain 3 power. I also have a play a card action, which allows me to pay a cost in power from my hand and then play a card. There is an activate action, which will allow me to take special activations on cards that are on the field. I don't have access to any of those right now, but I might a little bit later. And there's also a fate action, which is to play a fate card on my opponent. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take my gain 3 power action. I'm going to gain 3 power and place those on my villain's picture there. Then I'm going to choose to play a card. Now, as I said, I have to make my way through all 4 of those objectives to win the game. The first objective is called Transformation. And it says I have to remove 2 sentries from my domain in order to reveal this tile. So sentries for Ultron are going to be most of his allies. He does have a few that are not qualified as sentries. But I do happen to have one that I drew in my hand. So this guy here, he's a duplicate sentry. He costs 1 power to play. Some allies will also have additional effects down here in the text box. He does not have one. And then they have a strength value as well. So this ally in particular is going to be 2 strength. I'm going to choose to play him now. So I'm going to pay 1 power. And then I will play a duplicate sentry to the research lab. So I've done my gain power action. I've done my play a card action. I have a fate action and I have an activate action left. And let me put that reference back up there so y'all can see that. So I'm going to choose to take the fate action. And I'm going to draw a card from the Fate deck. I drew Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a hero. So when you play a hero from the Fate deck, you play them and cover up the top 2 actions of an opponent's location. And you can play them on any opponent's location that you choose. Some of them also have effects. This one in particular says when Captain Marvel is played, relocate all allies in the targeted player's domain to her location, and Captain Marvel is a 6 strength. And there's a little better look at the art there. So I'm going to play Captain Marvel on one of her locations, and I'm going to choose the Infinity Well. The Infinity Well has the most power that Melissa can gain on her turn, so I'm going to choose and cover up 2 actions there just to make it a little less beneficial for her. And then I still have nothing to activate, so I'm not going to be able to do that action, so I'm going to... Is that better? Alrighty, thank you. So that's going to be the end of my turn. At the end of my turn, I draw back up to 4 cards. So because I have 3 cards in my hand, I'm going to draw 1 card. And then that will be the end of my turn, and now it's Melissa's turn.
Okay, I'm going to move to the Titan location. And in that location, I can play a card, uh, get 1 power, play a fate card, and relocate my allies. So first I'm going to take 1 power, and then I will play my Consult the Well card, which is an effect. It costs 2 power, and it says, oh, Matt's going to show it to you.
So Consult the Well is an effect. Effect type cards have an effect written in the text box. That happens immediately and then goes to your discard pile. So Consult the Well is a 2 power to play. And then it says choose another player. That player receives a random unclaimed Infinity Stone. Once played, you may relocate an ally to that location. So the first thing we're going to do there is that I'm going to receive a random unclaimed Infinity Stone. So there are 6 Infinity Stones, and when you receive one, you shuffle them up, choose a random one, and then attach it to an ally that you have in your domain. If you have no allies in your domain, then you can play an ally for free from your hand and then attach the Infinity Stone to them. If you have none in your hand, you'll search your deck, find the first one, and then play it for free and attach the Infinity Stone. So I'm going to shuffle these up. And then we'll attach the Space Stone. Let me show you a little picture of that one. The Space Stone says you may relocate any number of your allies, and it is an activate action. So if you can see the activation symbol there, that means when you take an activate action, you can then use the Space Stone. So that Space Stone is going to attach to my duplicate sentry.
And it says once played, you may relocate an ally to that location, but I don't have any allies, so I can't do that part of this card. All right, so on my Titan location, the only thing left is relocate, which I can't do because I have no allies, and fate. So I will draw a fate card.
So Melissa's going to draw a fate card, and I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what she drew. Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch is another hero, just like Captain Marvel, but Scarlet Witch has a character symbol down in the bottom right corner. So when you draw a card from the Fate deck that has a character symbol, what that means is that that card affects the hero of which the symbol is more.
The villain.
Right, sorry, the villain. So if you'll see here, the hero has a Ultron symbol in the bottom right-hand corner. So Melissa got a good draw out of the Fate deck because she's going to Fate Ultron, and because it's got an Ultron symbol, it's going to affect Ultron a little more in his hindering his objective. So Scarlet Witch also is a 4 strength, and so I'll have to have a 4 strength ally in order to vanquish her. So Scarlet Witch says, when Scarlet Witch is played, choose a card type. The targeted player must reveal their hand and then discard all cards of that type. So Melissa's going to choose to cover up one of my locations, the top 2 actions, and then she will name a card type, and then I will have to discard the cards in my hand.
I'd like you to discard effects.
Okay, so I look through my hand, and I do have an effect. Is there a particular reason you chose effect?
Yes, because I don't really want you to get rid of allies from your hand, because your allies that get attached to my Infinity Stones, and I don't want you to get a chance to look through your deck and get more allies out of there for free. So
I do have one effect in my hand, so I'm going to discard that. And because it's not the end of my turn, I don't get to draw up, so I'll just have to play a card down on my next turn.
So that's it for me, because I can't relocate. So, oh, I guess I could now. Well, no, that's a hero, so no, that's the end of my turn.
Yep. So then it's back to my turn. I'm going to choose to...
Oh, at the end of my turn, I draw up to 4 cards.
Right. I'm going to choose to move to the research lab. The research lab has 4 actions. That is gain 1 power, fate, play a card, and relocate. So I'll go ahead and gain my 1 power. And then I will choose to play a card. So I'm going to play the Flying Sentry. It's an ally. Costs 2 power to play, so I'm going to discard 2 power. Flying Sentry is a 3 strength ally that says if Flying Sentry is at an event, when it resolves, you may relocate this ally to any location in your domain. So we don't have any events out yet, and I'll explain those when they come out. There's a little pic at the art. And then I'm going to play the Flying Sentry to the Stark Industries Industrial Complex. So I've gained my power for the turn. I have played my card for the turn. I still have a Fate action, and I have a Relocate action left. So I have also can have completed my first objective. So I think I'm going to do that now, just to get a little leg up. And I'm going to choose to remove these 2 sentries from my domain to reveal transformation. So I've upgraded Ultron to transform. And when you finish an objective for Ultron, the text says to reveal this tile. So we'll flip it over. All of his upgrades are specialties. Specialties are special, no pun intended. So they stay in the game at all times. They're kind of a permanent alteration to how your character's played, and they can't be removed. So each time Ultron completes an upgrade, he'll get a specialization that then makes him a little bit better. This one, transformation, says when you play a sentry, which is again most of the allies in his deck, you may choose a card from your discard pile and add it to your hand. So that's going to allow me to get some cards out of my discard pile and possibly help myself. And this one's going to go over here next to my specialization area. And then my next objective is going to be called optimization. It says you must remove a duplicate sentry, which is one of my allies, with 2 impervious alloys attached to it in order to reveal this tile. So that's going to be my next objective. Because I removed the ally that the Space Stone was attached to, the Space Stone can never be removed from the game. Any of the Infinity Stones can't be removed. So Space Stone's just going to hang out in the research lab. If in a future turn Melissa is able to move an ally to the research lab, she'll then be able to take control of the Space Stone and move it back to her board in order to gain it for Thanos. So I still have a Fate action and a Relocate action. So there's nothing I really need to relocate right now, so I'm not going to do that. And I am going to choose to Fate. So I drew an event. We'll show you this one here. Events can be of 2 specific types. They can be a global event or a personal event. If they're a personal event, they'll have the villain's symbol in the bottom right corner. But this one's a global event, so we'll go over how these work. Global events stay in play for all players, and they affect all players until they're completed. They have a strength value, and on your turn, you can use a relocate action to move an ally to an event, or if you play an ally from your hand, you can play them directly to an event. And you need 6 strength in order to overcome the event. These events kind of represent the Avengers messing with your plans. So it kind of introduces a semi-cooperative nature to the game. So it's going to actually affect us both, and we're both going to be hindered by this event until we complete it. So again, it has a 6 strength. We'll have to move 6 strength or more of allies to the event. And then it says only draw up to 3 cards at the end of your turn. So instead of drawing up to 4 cards at the end of our turn, we're only going to draw up to 3. And if we move an ally to that location when this event is completed, every villain that has an ally at that location will gain the reward. And the reward on this event is draw 3 cards. So this event's going to stay in play. And then that. Yes? The reward on this event is draw 3 cards. So this event's going to stay in place.
We're getting a bit of a feedback. Is there a way that we can possibly turn that down?
I think it's because we turned the volume up, but we'll let's see if we can handle that. And maybe that's better. So we keep going from there. Sorry about the audio issues. So I played the fate card, I gained my power, and I played a card from my hand. And so now I can take a relocate action. I have nothing to relocate.
Let's keep going. Thank you.
So that will be the end of my turn. I only have 2 cards in my hand, so I'm going to draw 1 card because of the event to go up to 3 cards.
All right, so that's going to be a bummer, that 3 card thing. All right, so I'm going to I will go to the Infinity Well, which only has 2 actions because Ultron blocked me with Captain Marvel. So I will, it has a play a card and gain 3 power. So I'll get the 3 power first. And then I can play 1 card from my hand. And I will play Proxima Midnight, which costs 2 power.
So Proxima Midnight is an ally. She costs 2 power and it has a 3 strength. And her effect says, when played, defeat a character with strength 3 or less at Proxima Midnight's location. You can see the art there.
But there's no character that I can play that on, so I can put her anywhere.
Yep.
Put her there. And that's all I can do because there's only 2 actions on that spot, so.
Alrighty.
And I can't draw up to 4, it's only 3 because of the event, so.
But you could move Proxima with
That's
a
true.
relocate to that event, and I can help
Actually
you.
could have played her to that event instead.
You could have if you wanted to.
I'd probably do that because
Okay.
that's a nasty event.
So then we only need a 3 strength left or more to overcome that event. So we might try to do that. So it's back to my turn. I'm going to choose to move back to the manufacturing array. Again, my 4 actions at that location are gain 3 power, play a card, fate, and activate. So I'm going to choose to gain 3 power. That gives me a total of 4 power. I'm going to play a card. I'm going to spend 1 power. Sorry, I drew a strength token. To play a duplicate sentry, which is the same one I played in the first round. It's a 2 strength, but only costs 1 power. I'm going to play that one at the Stark Industries Industrial Complex. And then I have a fate action and an activate. I could activate the Space Stone, which allows me to relocate any number of allies. I don't necessarily want to do that right now. So then I'm just going to play a fate action. So I drew one of my favorite heroes, Captain America. Captain America says, when Captain America is played, place a 1 strength token on Captain America and each other hero in the targeted player's domain. And Captain America has a 3 strength to start with. So I'm going to choose to cover up this action at nowhere. It covered up a relocate action. That's going to make it harder for Melissa to move her allies around and possibly get some of those stones. And then I place a +1 strength token on both Captain America and Captain Marvel. So that makes Captain America's strength a 4 and Captain Marvel's strength a 7 now. 7's pretty hard to beat. And then that is the end of my turn. I have 2 cards in my hand, and so I'm going to draw 1 card up to the 3 card limit because of the helicarrier.
Okay. So I will go to the Titan again. And that has a draw power and a play a card action. So I will play my Legions of Thanos, which costs 1 power. And then it has a relocate action, so I'll relocate to this location, which picks up that Infinity Stone.
So Melissa relocated to the research lab where that unattached Infinity Stone was. So because she is controlling the Legions of Thanos, that anytime that they relocate to another player's domain where there is an unattached stone, they get that stone, and then when they return that stone to their board, they can then use it. Thanos will have part of the Infinity Gauntlet restored, and then he'll be able to use it. So she's attached that Infinity
And that's
Stone.
something unique to Thanos. I mean, you can't move your allies to my domain.
Right.
Okay, so I did my get a power, play a card, relocate. So I have a fate action left, so I'll draw a fate card.
So we'll draw a fate card. This card is Gamora. Gamora affects Thanos more, but since Thanos drew it, she's just going to play it on me. Gamora is a 3 strength, and it says, when Gamora is played, defeat a character at her location. If that character is an ally of Thanos, Gamora gets 2 +1 strength tokens.
I'm glad you didn't draw that on me.
Yep, so you'll be able to play that wherever you want.
Well, I mean, there's only one spot to play
I
it.
imagine it's going there. So Gamora immediately defeats the duplicate sentry. And then that character is not an ally of Thanos, so she gets no strength tokens.
Okay, and then I did all the actions there, so that's the end of my turn. So I draw up to 3.
Okay, so I need to get some allies out and possibly get some of those actions back.
Yeah, it's looking pretty grim over there.
So I am going to move.
Oh, and that had the added benefit of removing one of your sentries that.
Right. That I needed to complete my next
Good job,
objective.
Fate.
Yeah, the fate was in your favor. So I'm going to move to the Stark Industries Industrial Complex. I'm going to gain 1 power as one of my actions there. My other action there is play a card. So I'm going to choose to pay 2 power and play an ally, the Heavy Attack Sentry. It's a 2 power ally to play, has a 3 strength, and it gains, this location gains the Vanquish action. So that's going to be very good for me this turn. I'm going to play a sentry to the industrial complex. And I think I forgot this last time, but because I have transformation already, when I play a sentry, I can choose a card from my discard pile and add it to my hand. So I'm going to search through my discard pile. I need these duplicate sentries for my optimization ability, so I'm going to add that to my hand. I'll straighten those up a little bit. And then since the heavy attack sentry gave this location the vanquish action, I'm then going to use the vanquish action. And I'm going to use heavy attack sentry's 3 strength to vanquish Gamora at 3 strength, which will discard both of those.
And you get your actions back.
Yep, and so now I've uncovered 2 more actions at that location. They are play a card and discard cards. So when you use the discard cards action, you can discard all of your hand if you want to, as many cards as you want to, whatever's not going to be useful for that for your upcoming turn, and then you get to draw up to your current hand limit.
Only that's the end of the turn, though, right?
That's at the end of the turn. Yep. So I'm going to play a card using my second play a card action. I'm going to pay 1 power and play that duplicate sentry that I just got out of my discard pile, because I still need those for my optimization objective. Duplicate sentry has no ability, but is a 2 strength. And then I'm going to choose to discard cards. I really, really like this giant sentry. He's got some beautiful art, and he's a 6 strength, which is very, very good, but he's also a 6 power to play. I don't think I'm going to have that anytime soon. So I'm going to choose to discard that card, leaving me with 1 card in my hand, and I will draw up to 3 cards because of the helicarrier.
I'm working on that event by myself.
Yeah.
Come help.
Well, if you keep removing my allies, I won't be able to help you out.
You're not helping me. You're trying to bring the Age of Ultron on.
So that's the end of my turn. It's now going to be Melissa's turn.
Okay. I think I will go to the Sanctuary. 2 or 11.
2.
2. Okay. All right. And I will, it has a draw 2 power action, so I'll do that first. It has an activate action, which I have nothing to activate. It has a play a card action. I actually have this cool action effect that costs $0 or 0 power. Sorry, it's a small price to pay. I'll let you show it.
So a small price to pay. It is a free card to play. It costs 0 power. It is an effect, so it's going to happen and then go to the discard pile. And it says gain 1 power plus 1 additional power for each other villain who controls an Infinity Stone. So she'll get 1 power plus 1 power because I have an Infinity Stone in my domain.
It's pretty funny. A small price to pay.
Yep. And then, so in a game where you're playing, up to 4 players, you may be able to gain 5 power from that card, which is very, very strong.
And then I can discard and draw up to 3. So I'll discard 1 card, and then at the end of my turn, I draw up to 3. And that is it for me.
Okay. So I'm going to look at my hand here. I'm going to move back to the manufacturing array. I have gain 3 power, so I'm going to do that. Gain 1, 2, and 3 power. And then I also have a play a card action, so I'm going to immediately spend that 3 power to play Alchema from my hand. Alchema is an ally. She has costs 3 power to play, has a 3 strength, but says when Alchema is played, defeat a character at her location. So I don't have to use the vanquish action I'm going to
Any
play
character?
any character. I'm going to play there. So Scarlet Witch gets defeated. And then I still have an activate action and a fate action. Alchema is not a sentry, so she does not trigger my transformation ability that I have. She's one of, I believe, two allies in my deck that does not have the sentry keyword. So then I'm going to play a fate. I'm going to draw a card. I drew Nick Fury. That was a good one to draw right now. Nick Fury is a hero with 2 strength that says when Nick Fury is played, the targeted player loses half of their power, rounded up. Sorry.
No.
So there's Nick Fury. So Nick Fury, I'm just going to go ahead and cover up this location, and then you'll lose half of your power rounded up.
Which I have 5.
So you'll lose 3 power.
Crushing
Sorry.
blow.
Yeah,
Whoa.
that was a good draw.
First, Alchema just removes anything she wants, and then, wow. All right, come on, Thanos. We can.
And then that's going to be the end of my turn. I'm going to draw 1 card, still up to 3 cards because of that there event.
Oh boy. Okay. Man, this is tough. I shall.
So all 3 of Melissa's locations that she can move to are covered by heroes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
she's going to have a limited number of actions she can take.
Oof, this is tough. Oh my goodness. I guess I'll just go to the Titan, and it has only 2 actions on it: gain a power and relocate, and I'll get my Legions of Thanos with my stone back.
Okay, so you're relocating and grabbing your stone.
I guess I'll just leave it right here.
So because she moved a stone back to her domain, she then flips that stone over and it moves to her specialty zone, and now Thanos has that stone in their gauntlet. So I'll let you see the art here. It's kind of cool. It shows the stone in the gauntlet. So each Infinity Stone, as she gains them, will add to the gauntlet in order to complete a full gauntlet. And that becomes a specialty that stays, and now she has that activate action. Anytime she can take an activate action, she can choose to activate the Space Stone, which allows her to relocate any number of her allies. It's very, very strong, especially since she's trying to constantly relocate back and forth between our domains.
And that's all for that spot. Those 2 actions, that's it.
Okay. So now it's my turn again. I'm going to choose to move to the reconfiguration base. I have a gain 2 power action there, so I'm going to gain 2 power. I have a play a card action there, a vanquish action there, and a discard cards action there. So I'm going to play a Flying Sentry. Flying Sentry is, if Flying Sentry is at an event, when it resolves, you may relocate this ally to a location in your domain. So I'm going to pay 2 power in order to play Flying Sentry. I'm going to play Flying Sentry at the event, which, because Proxima Midnight is there, is now a 6 strength at that event. So that event will be completed finally. Proxima Midnight will get discarded for completing the Helicarry Alert event, but because of Flying Sentry's special ability, Flying Sentry can then relocate to my domain.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to relocate back to the research lab, And because we both had a character at the Helicarrier Alert event when it was completed, we both gain the reward, and the rewards draw 3 cards.
Yeah. That's huge. For me, anyway.
So I've gained my 2 power. I have played a card. I don't have anything that I need to vanquish right now, and I have a discard cards action. So I'm still looking for some of those impervious alloys to play at on my duplicate sentry for my next objective. So I'm going to choose to discard 3 cards into my domain, and then I will draw up to 4 at the end of my turn, because our hand limit's now 4 again because that event is not affecting us. And so now it's going to be Melissa's turn.
Okay. I think I shall move to nowhere. Okay.
Nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you know what nowhere is?
No, I do not.
Nowhere is in the Guardians of the Galaxy universe a lot. It is a Celestial's head that has been now is used as a base of operations. That's kind of like a space station.
Oh, okay. That's not where I thought that was going. Okay. So that location has a fate action, a play a card action, and a vanquish action. Which have we taken a vanquish action?
We did. I vanquished Gamora.
Well, I haven't taken a vanquish action.
Right, and you probably need to.
I'm going to play. I'm going to play my effect, which costs 2 power. It is Taste of Cosmic Power.
So, Taste of Cosmic Power is an effect card that says place 1 strength token on an ally you control. That ally may immediately vanquish a character at that location with equal or less strength and is not discarded after the vanquish action.
Okay, so I put a +1 strength on the only ally that I have, and I vanquish that guy.
So Nick Fury gets vanquished and goes to the discard pile.
And the only thing left of that location is... Actually, no, I didn't use my vanquish, right? That was part of this?
Right, that's part of the card.
Oh. Well, now... Okay, well, I have a vanquish action that I no longer need. And then I can... Last action is a fate action, so I need to get a fate card.
Fate card. This fate card is another one that's going to affect me most. That is Hank Pym. Hank Pym is a 2 strength, and it says, while Hank Pym is in your domain, you may not play or find cards from your discard pile. So that's going to completely shut down my transformation ability when she attaches it up there. And she can play that on any one of my 4 locations. You can play it at the one I'm at?
Yep.
Okay.
And that's it, because that's all the other action is covered up.
So
I draw up to 4, but I got 5 because of that.
Right, so we won't draw any, and we didn't have any discard action, so
Right.
couldn't get rid of the extra cards. So the only vanquish action that I have access to is where I am, which means it's going to take me at least 1 turn to get back there. Let me check my hand really quickly. So I'm going to choose to move back to the manufacturing array, gain 3 power, 1, 2, and 3, and then play a card. I am going to pay 2 power to attach my first Impervious Alloy. So Impervious Alloy is an item. It costs 2 power to play. It says, when played, attach Impervious Alloy to an ally that you control. Impervious Alloy can only be removed if the attached ally is defeated or removed. And Impervious Alloy adds +2 strength to their total. So I'm going to kind of place it underneath the duplicate sentry here because, again, my optimization objective that I have right now is to remove a duplicate sentry with 2 impervious alloys attached to reveal that tile. So I'm about halfway there for that one right now. I still have nothing that I can activate on my turn, but I can fate, so I'm going to choose to fate. And I revealed a fate card that has Thanos' symbol on it, called What Did It Cost? It is an effect, and it says, the targeted villain must discard 1 card from their hand for each Infinity Stone that they control, up to the total number of cards in their hands.
At least I only have 1.
Yeah, that's not terribly bad right now because it could have been.
Is it random card or?
No, you get to choose.
Oh, that's not.
So that's an effect. So it's just going to happen and then go away to the discard pile. So she will discard 1 of her cards in her hand, and because she drew so many because of completing that event, that's actually not a bad fate. No, fate was kind of in your favor that time.
Just because I had a bunch of cards for a change.
And then that's going to be the end of my turn. I have 3 cards in my hand, so I'm going to draw 1 up to 4.
Okay. I think I know. I'm going to Sanctuary 2. So I'm going to get 2 power. And then I have an activate action, a play a card action, and a discard action. So I'm going to play my card. My Black Dwarf, which costs 3 power to play. Black Dwarf cannot be played or relocated to events, but it's a 6 strength, so
Right.
that's pretty
Black
good.
Dwarf has a 6 strength, very, very strong, and is an ally.
And I get that activate action, which I can use my Space Stone.
Right.
I may relocate any number of my allies. So I will relocate Black Dwarf to here. And 3 strength. So I guess any of these. So I chose that instead of here because it obviously reduce the number of actions you can take over there.
Right.
If I put it here, you'd still have. Okay. So I did power, I did play card, I did activate. Now I can discard any cards I don't need and draw up to 4. So actually, I'll discard all of them. Okay.
So this is back to my turn?
Yep.
So on my turn, I'm going to move to the reconfiguration base where I have a vanquish action and a discard cards action. I'm going to choose to use my vanquish action to defeat Hank Pym. So I'm going to use Alchema's 3 strength to defeat Hank Pym's 2 strength and remove him, which then allows me access to a 2 power and a play a card action. So I'm going to take the 2 power action and then a play a card action. I'm going to choose to play an effect that says every contingency's covered. It says it's 1 power, so I'm going to pay my 1 power, and then choose either item or effect. Reveal cards from your deck until you reveal a card of that type and place it in your hand. So I'm going to choose item, and then I'm going to reveal cards. You got my impervious alloy. It's going to go in my hand, and then I'm going to shuffle my deck to make sure that it's good and randomized. And then I have a discard cards action. So I'm going to choose to discard 2 cards and then draw up to 4 for the end of my turn.
Okay. Okie dokie. I will go to nowhere, but which is really somewhere. And I will play my consult the well. Oh, no, I will not. Uh-oh.
You can go somewhere else if you want to.
Okay. I was so excited to play it.
She didn't have any power, so she couldn't play her
Well,
card.
I
if
don't
she
know. I
wanted
might
to.
still do it anyway. So I'm not going to be able to play a card because I don't have any power. But I can do my vanquish action.
Right.
So I'm going to vanquish that.
So you're
The
going to
duplicate
vanquish
sentry
my
with
sentry?
the impervious alloy. Because it's a 4, right?
Right, it
And
is a
my
4.
black dwarf has a 6 strength.
Right. So
And I don't want you completing this optimization thing. So I'm not going to wait on that for my power.
So she's using her vanquish action to vanquish my ally. So duplicate sentry with 1 impervious alloy is going to get discarded. That's kind of hurtful. And black dwarf is going to get discarded as well for vanquishing. I'd say that was worth it.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I was like, nope. And then I could play a card, which I don't think I have my 0 power now. And then I can fate.
So we'll draw a fate card.
Come on, come on, come on.
She drew Vision, which is another one of my favorite heroes. That's kind of apt to be played on Ultron, I guess. Vision is a 4 strength hero that says if Vision is in your domain, whenever you gain power, gain 1 less.
Oh. Okay.
So Vision, again, along with Captain America and Captain Marvel, they're all part of that common fate deck that you use in every game. So because they don't have a character's symbol in the bottom right corner, those will always be part of the fate deck that can come out and mess with you. So they're pretty strong Avengers that can put a hamper on your evil deeds.
I did.
I'm not evil. I'm just misunderstood.
Yeah, sure. Okay, that's my turn. It's your turn.
Alrighty. So I'm going to move to the Stark Industries Industrial Complex, which allows me to gain 1 power, play 2 cards, and discard cards.
Yep.
So I'm going to gain 1 power. Then I'm going to pay 1 power to play a duplicate sentry, also to the Stark Industries Industrial Complex.
I just got rid of that guy.
Because of my transformation specialty, when I play a sentry, I can choose a card from my discard pile and put it in my hand. And then I have a second play a card action. So I'm going to pay 2 power to play an impervious alloy.
Halfway there already. Oh, you were gonna win next. You were gonna get to the next stage.
I was, but you stopped me for at least 2 turns.
Whew.
And then I have a discard cards action left, and I like my cards, so I'm not going to discard any. I will draw one card, which is up to 4.
All right.
This is the card I've been looking for. So
Oh
you
boy.
just wait.
You probably shouldn't have told me that. Because I can do all kinds of things. You never know what I can do. Yeah, there's not that much, I guess. I think I will, I will go here, which
So
to the
she's
Infinity Well.
She's gonna move back to the Infinity Well.
Only 2 actions, but that 3 power, I get 3 power. That's pretty useful. And then I can play 1 card, which I will play my Consult the Well, which is an effect, and that's the one that brings out the stones.
Yep.
So choose another player. That player receives a random unclaimed Infinity Stone.
So I will shuffle the Infinity Stones. This is going to be her second Infinity Stone on the board, so she'll be a third of the way there if she can get it. And then we got the Reality Stone. The Reality Stone has a activation on it that says perform a vanquish action. Your allies are not discarded as a result of that vanquish action. That's pretty good.
That's huge.
I'm actually going to choose to attach that one to my duplicate sentry over here.
Because why?
Because you already have enough strength to beat my flying sentry. And at least this way you have to relocate your ally.
You do know that once played, you may relocate an ally
Oh.
to that location. So it doesn't
Yeah, but-
matter where you play it.
But you don't have enough strength to defeat him.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, okay. All right, could you move him there, obviously?
So we're going to move Legions of Thanos to that location.
Okay.
Legions of Thanos is a 3 power against a 4 power now with my duplicate sentry with impervious alloy. So not quite enough to defeat him yet.
Am I correct, or can you use this power while it's...
Right. So if I can take an activation action because my characters control the Infinity Stone, I can use those activate actions and do what it says on that stone until she takes control of it again.
Okay, so I'll draw up to 4 at the end of my turn.
So it gives me kind of a temporary benefit if I can keep the stones away from Thanos.
Yeah, and you can only do that once there's someone attached. Once they've been removed, they can't be... You can't reattach them, can you? I don't believe so.
No, once they've been removed from the character, you can't reattach them to another character.
Okay.
To another of my allies.
Right. Ultron.
So that's my turn.
Yep, that's it. That's all I can do. 2 actions. That spot.
So I'm going to move to the research lab. I have 4 actions here: gain 1 power, relocate, fate, and play a card. So I'm going to gain 1 power. I'm going to choose to relocate, and I'm going to move this duplicate sentry over to the reconfiguration base. That way she'll have to move the Legion of Thanos to attack me now,
Again.
because they're not at the same location anymore. Then I'm going to pay my 2 power to play another impervious alloy on that duplicate sentry, which allows me to complete my optimization objective. So I'm going to remove those 3 cards. That optimization objective says you must remove a duplicate sentry with 2 impervious alloys attached to it to reveal this tile. So then I'll reveal that card. It says optimization. You may treat play a card as relocate actions. And that's a specialty.
Whoa.
So that's going to stay in play over here in my specialty section.
Which you can't really see.
Yeah, we can move it this way a little so they can see which ones I've got. I'm sure they know what Ultron looks like by now. And we'll move these over. And this reality stone that was attached to that duplicate sentry is now unattached at the reconfiguration base. And then those three go to my discard pile. So I used my play a card action, I used my gain a power action, I used my relocate action. So the last thing I can do is fate. I drew Mockingbird. Mockingbird is a hero with 2 strength. It says when Mockingbird is played, the targeted player loses 2 power. So I'm going to place here
It's really cool art.
on Sanctuary 2, and then you'll lose 2 power, which is just 1 power because that's all you had.
Okay.
And then that's the end of my turn, so I'm going to draw up to 4.
Okay. Well, that was really bad for me. Okay.
Yep. So my new objective is called Ultimate. Forgot to show you guys that one, and it says you must have a sentry in each location in your domain to reveal this tile. So right now I'm only 1/4 of the way to completing that one.
Okie dokie. I will go to Titan and get 1 power. So get 1 power, relocate, play a card, and a fate action. So I can relocate. I will. I'll play my card first. So cost 1 power to play a Legion of Villainous, which I could play anywhere. Doesn't matter because I'm going to use my relocate action to relocate.
So that Legion of Thanos will grab the Infinity Stone, the Reality Stone, and stay at the reconfiguration base.
And so I've played my card, I've got my power, I've relocated, so all that's left is fate. So can you get a fate card, please?
Fate card.
Oh
That's
no, I
another
can
event
see it.
card.
Oh. I could tell it was horizontal.
So this event card is Protected Vibranium. It is another global event, so it affects us both. And it says, when you play an item, you have to pay an additional power.
Oh no.
It's an 8 strength, and the reward is you may find an item from your deck or discard pile and put it into your hand.
Okay. And so that's the end of my turn. I can draw up to 4. And that's it for me.
Alrighty, so then it's my turn. That vision is very annoying. I really need power to play my cards that I have.
And you get 1 less power because he's out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Vision.
So I think I'm going to have to move. I guess I'm going to have to move to the manufacturing array just to get some power. And so I'll only gain 2 power because of vision.
He has vision.
Yeah, he's blocking me with that vision. And then I have an activate action, which I can't take because I have nothing to activate. And so that's the end of my turn. I didn't play any cards, so I've already got 4 in my hand.
Oh. Can't say I feel that sorry for you.
So yeah, one of the big drawbacks to Thanos moving allies to your domain is that they cover the actions too. So it's much harder to have a complete 4-action turn when Thanos' allies keep moving too. And I could vanquish those allies if I wanted to, but I'd have to have allies at that location to do so.
So I have no power, so I'll go to the Infinity Well, which only has 2 actions, which is gain 3 power. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll immediately spend 2 to consult the well. Choose another player. That player receives a random unclaimed Infinity Stone.
So I'm going to shuffle the 4 Infinity Stones that are left. This is getting pretty neck and neck there.
I know.
And then I'm going to choose one. I got the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone has an activate action that says find any card in your deck and add it to your hand. So that's pretty strong. And because I only have one ally, I'm then going to attach the Mind Stone to the Flying Sentry.
The second part of this card says once played, you may relocate an ally to that location. So can you move my...
The one with the +1
That's right.
moves to that location.
Okay. And then I have 3 cards, so I draw up to 4. And that's the end of my turn.
So I'm going to move to the Stark Industries Industrial Complex. I believe. Yep. So I have a gain 1 power, which because of vision will be a gain 0 power unless I can get rid of vision this turn. I have 2 play a card actions and a discard cards action. So I'm going to choose to pay 1 power for another duplicate sentry.
And you're trying to get sentries at every location.
Right, I have to have a sentry at all 4 of my locations to complete that objective. So I'm playing a duplicate sentry there. And then, so that's one of my cards. I have another card that I can play. And I'm going to play an effect card called Reconfigure. It is a free card to play. And it says gain 1 power for each location in your domain with at least 1 sentry. So that will be 2 power, but because of vision, it's only 1 power.
That vision is really paying off.
Yeah, I'm having to work hard to just get around them. Yeah. And then I can discard cards. I still like the cards in my hand, so I'm not going to discard any cards. So I'll draw 2 cards up to 4. Oh, because I played... Hold on, let me put those back and shuffle my deck because I forgot about my transformation ability.
We haven't played any items yet because we're supposed to pay an additional power.
We have not played any items except for the Infinity Stone, but that did not have a cost.
Right.
So because I played Duplicate Sentry, I'm going to use the transformation ability to get any card that I want out of my discard pile.
And you gotta remember to use those.
And then I will end my turn and draw up to 4. So I only draw 1 card.
Okay.
And then that's the end of my turn.
Okay.
I have a feeling I'm falling behind here.
I don't know. I believe I'm going to... I can't use my Space Stone because you've covered up the activate. So I'm going to go to Nowhere. It has a Fate action, play a card action, and a Vanquish action. So I will...
So most locations on villain domains have 2 actions on the top and 2 actions on the bottom. But Nowhere has 1 action on the top and 3 actions on the bottom. So she'll get to take 3 actions there.
Yeah, so I will Vanquish. And I will vanquish This guy doesn't have any. He's just 3 strength, right?
Just a 3 strength. Yep.
Okay, so I'll vanquish him.
Okay, so you're using the Legions of Thanos to vanquish my sentry.
It's a 3 strength because it has that +1.
Yep, and they'll both go to the discard pile.
Okay.
And then that Mind Stone will stay at the research lab.
Okay, and then I will play a card, which can only cost 1 power. So I will play Warp Reality, which costs 1 power.
So Warp Reality is an effect card that says search your discard pile for an effect card and put it in your hand.
Okay.
That art's really nice too.
And then the last thing I can do is last action is Fate.
Okay, so I'm going to get faded again.
It's Fate.
So that is Drax the Destroyer. It is a Thanos villain, so it would affect Thanos more, but it's going to be played on me. And it says at least 2 allies must be used to defeat Drax with a vanquish action. And Drax is a 5 strength. So if I wanted to vanquish Drax, I would have to use 2 allies, which is a pretty big blow to my team because I'm trying to get sentries out really fast.
I could put it over there.
Alrighty. And is that the end of your turn?
Yes, I already have 4 cards, so.
Okay, so it's back to me. I am going to choose to move to the manufacturing array. I have 2 actions there. They're gain 2 power and activate. So I'm going to gain 2 power. And then I'm going to activate the Mind Stone. The Mind Stone allows me to find any card in my deck and add it to my hand. So I'm going to look in my deck. And I'm going to choose to add this card to my hand. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
They did, though. Darn it, I should have been paying attention.
And then that will be the end of my turn. I have more than 4 cards in my hand, so I will pass my turn.
So I will
We'll probably get a couple more turns in, and then we'll have to wrap it up and we'll take questions. So if you guys have questions, put them in the chat and we'll do our best to answer them.
Well, I'm going to see. I'm going to go to the Titan and get 1 power. I have a 1 power, then I can relocate. I can draw a card. Play a card, or I could do a Fate. So I got my power. I'm going to relocate the Legions of Thanos to the research lab.
So she's going to relocate Legions of Thanos to the research lab because there is an unattached Infinity Stone there. The Legion will gain control over that Infinity Stone. So that makes it so I really want to try and vanquish that Legions of Thanos because then those 2 stones will come back down to my side of the board. And then she would have to move another ally there. So we'll see if I can do that in time.
Okay, and then I can play a card, which at this point is I don't have enough power. And so my last action is Fate.
So we'll draw a Fate card. This is an Ultron's hurting card. It's called Deactivation Switch. It says attach deactivation switch to a specialty That specialty may no longer be used until the targeted player pays 2 power to remove the deactivation switch.
I
So,
wonder which one I'll put it on.
so she'll get to use one of those and block that. So now I can't transform anymore until I pay 2 power. And I was definitely going to do that.
It's
So,
so good. It's too much. Okay, and that's all I can do.
okay, you draw. Did you draw up?
No, I didn't play a card, so
Okay.
I'm low on the power over here.
So I'm going to move to Stark Industries Industrial Complex, and then we'll go ahead and just wrap it up there
You wanna
because
show the
we've only
movers?
got about 15 minutes left. So we'll start to take some questions. What'd you say?
Because I want to show the movers because you can't
Oh,
really
yeah.
see.
We could do that. So just so you guys can see some detail on there, there's Thanos' villain mover. Very nice. And here's Ultron.
Maybe turn it the other way. I meant like, yeah.
And then I'm going to scroll back in the chat and see if we can find some questions. So I see a question from Will02 back at the beginning of the chat that says, are the stones tiles? The stones are tiles, and so are the upgrades for Ultron. They are kind of a thick cardboard, so they're very, very sturdy, and they're a little bit thicker than the cards, so they kind of stand out when you're playing with them. We scroll back and see some more questions. We're going to show off the other characters' movers and some of their domains. So, as we said, Taskmaster, Killmonger, and Hela are the other 3 characters, villains in the game. So, here is Taskmaster's mover. Very nice with his sword and shield. And then here is his domain. Taskmaster has a quote on there that says, I can counter anything you throw at me. I can mimic and adapt to any move you make. I can anticipate any blow. Taskmaster's objective is to have 4 allies, each with a 5 or more strength at a different location. So he's trying to train his mercenary school in order to win. Here is Hela. Hela's got a very nice crown there. And there's the back of Hela. Her quote is, soon Odin and all his holdings shall be mine. So Hela's got Odin's vault, and her objective is to have a combination of 8 allies and soul marks with no opposing characters at Odin's vault. So you can stay tuned later in the week. We will actually be back playing Hela and see how she works. And then Killmonger is the 5th one. Killmonger is looking pretty cool with his headdress. And then Killmonger says, I will show the world Wakanda's true face, and they will kneel before us in fear. And there's Killmonger's location, his domain. Killmonger's objective is to take control of the mines and relocate 2 explosives to any other domain other than your own. So Killmonger actually starts with something in play covering up the Golden City, and his objective cards kind of work like Ultron's in that they're stacked on top of one another, and they will be moved outside of that location when you defeat the villain that is there, and then you have to control the mines, which is another tile that will sit in your specialty area. So I'll place some of these next to each other down here. Those are the three characters that we are not playing right now, but we will be playing a few of them later on in the week. So if you're interested, come back and see us in our other Gen Con Online events. We do have a couple other games we'll be showcasing as well. I know that Melissa and I will be doing Back to the Future Dice Through Time and Chicken War and Disney's Jungle Cruise adventure game. So if you're interested in any of those, please come back and see us. Just see a question from Zavfro about how big is the box. So the box is the same size as the other Villainous property that Ravensburger has put out. It's a decent size. Everything fits in there really well. The game has these really nice trays for the movers where the villains fit in there, and everything fits in there nice and snug, which is always good.
Show the art on the back.
The villain decks also have different art on them. So there's Killmonger's art on his deck. I know it's hard to see from the overhead, but maybe we'll show Ultron's. And here's Taskmaster's. And Hela's. So the art on the back of the decks is very stylized for the character, and they're very, very cool. We show a Thanos one with his gauntlet smashing through the earth there.
Any questions?
And then the Fate deck, just to show the Avenger symbols on there. I know that one's hard to see from the overhead camera. So do we have any more questions?
Can you show some of the art maybe on some of the other guys?
I'm going to flip through some of the other Fate cards and show you some of the personal objectives. So here's a personal event for Ultron. So when you play a personal event, the personal event actually goes in front of the player that it has their symbol, and then they're the ones that have to complete it. So it's a very hard event to complete. But this says, when gaining power, Ultron gains 1 fewer power.
Oh, if that is
So-
combined with Vision or
Yeah,
something?
combined
Oh,
with
my
Vision, that would be
goodness.
just horrible.
And Vision's just a general.
Right.
So just lucky that you get, if you can, or unlucky rather. Lucky for me.
So that's Invasion of Stark Enterprises, and the art on these events is gorgeous. And then that one is an 8 strength, so I would have to complete that strength by myself. But then the reward is Ultron gains 6 power. So the Age of Ultron, the last objective that Ultron has to complete, is pay 12 power to reveal this tile and win the game. So gaining the 6 power from that, completing that event, would put me halfway there. Thanos' personal event is Sacrifices Must Be Made. It's a 7 power, and it says before moving, for each of Thanos' allies in play, he must either pay 1 power, discard 1 card from his hand, or remove that ally. So that one's pretty punishing too if you have a lot of allies out on the field trying to get those Infinity Stones back. It's a 7 strength to complete, and the reward is Thanos removes 1 ally controlled by each other villain.
Game is based on Marvel Comics.
So I think that's about all for the time that we have today. We would love to see you guys back. If you're interested in learning some of the other villains, we have more villainous scenarios that we're doing throughout the weekend. Otherwise, enjoy your Gen Con online. I know that everybody is kind of doing it from home this year, but I hope everybody stays healthy and has fun. And enjoy your Gen Con online. Thanks, everybody.